Hey, sweetie. Oh, I'm good. So I'm about to go to bed like in about an hour or so. I ain't drinking no coffee. I'm live though. Mhm. Can you close my door? Because he's loud and wide awoke. Hello, good evening. So I'm gonna make this one really, really quick. Ooh, spirit, thank you. Thank you, goddess. Hello, good evening. So just very briefly, I want to come and speak to you guys about the baby daddy curse. Okay. Now, I come and I talk about this a lot. This was actually a system. Okay. It was a system that was created about 1 to 3 generations ago. And so let me tell you all about it. Um, Basically, it's about when you have a child with a man that you're not married to, and the 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 negativity of it, okay. um so okay, let me see how I'm going to articulate this, okay, because this is probably going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a doozy, okay. But I feel as though right around the feminist movement, when women were given the right to divorce, because there was a time frame when women could not divorce, right? Well, as soon as women was given the legal right, things started to switch over to the spiritual side, right? People, settle their differences spiritually a lot. If somebody pisses you off, or if somebody does something horrible to you, you may throw them something, okay, whether or not you're doing a ritual or whatever. But I believe that what ended up happening is that, and this is a part of that secret society. This is one of their things as far as with the Freemasons. So I'm surprised that we don't have more of you up in here. YouTube doesn't send out my notifications. From what I was told, they do for my other channels, but for some reason for this one they don't. So weird. So um, I'll send out my own notification. Okay. Okay, so let me go over this with you guys. If you are a woman that doesn't, if you're a woman that has a child by a deadbeat, I'm talking about somebody that doesn't do anything right. In fact, this person creates more obstacles in your life. Okay, because I think that life can be somewhat difficult, but if you got too many struggles, like too many struggles, especially if you are mildly intelligent, with a pretty good outlook on life, and you feel like you have a lot of obstacles, you feel like it just seems like stuff just kind of hits you, right? And I believe that a lot of them are in somewhat of and I do believe that it is connected with religion. But I believe that it is a secret society, and I believe that there was a paradigm that was created, which is actually shifting for a lot of people. But it is the baby daddy curse is when you have the father of your child just makes life difficult for you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like purposely will make life difficult for you and his children. And you would think it wouldn't make sense for that, but I believe that this was created generationally. I believe that it originated in the church, but then it sort of expanded out to other areas of society, and I do believe there's a secret society. And I believe that there is a program that these men, your baby daddy, can possibly either sign you up for, or either there is hexes. Hexes are being done by these men. Okay, and the hex is there because they're angry, they're mad. It's not your fault that they're angry or mad. You just know that you wanted your children in a safer environment with somebody that was going to actually support them. And, a lot of them, typically a baby daddy type is going to be somebody that's on heavy drugs with a lot of issues, and not a whole lot of solutions. He's going to talk a lot about problems, but the solutions are typically not there. And so you find yourself feeling as though you've got to be tied to this person for 18 years, and they will go beyond that. What I believe has happened, and I think that it happened generationally, and this did happen, which in my humble opinion is not as bad as other generational hexes. I believe that they wanted to be bad because they actually didn't want to give women the freedom of choice. They didn't. Because again, I mean, even if you get married today, you have to have a good reason to get divorced. You just can't. So the point that I'm making, and I think that when people, um, I think that probably around 2 to 3 generations ago, I think that this is when this began to happen. And our generation is being heavily affected by it. It is just the most demonic thing that you have ever seen in your life. And so you can remove those generational hexes of the baby daddy curse from the family, because you got to think about it. It's going to widely depend on his family and what their issues are. And so you have this child with them. Hello, Miss Desire, Jacksonville, and Joanne. Hello. Hi, how are y'all? Um, Basically, now for some of you, you're just a sacrifice. I'm just keeping it real with you, especially the ones that leave you hungry, dirty, and cold. Okay, because I didn't experience that. Okay, some of y'all ended up having your beautiful children with somebody that kind of ran off. Okay, and I think that when they do that, it's also something spiritually happening because the child is not being protected by the father. But you have to ask yourself why. Why would a father do that, and what is happening, and how is the mother doing? Because I can tell you that probably in maybe half of the case, he's walking away from you, not wishing you well, with negativity. his vision of you is going to be that you're going to be having a hard time, and you sad and you lonely and don't nobody want you because you got his babies or something. And so with that, and it's crazy because a lot of you, he'll move on. He'll move on completely. But then you're stuck 10, 20, 30 years single. And you're like, what the hell? Hey, J Dub, good morning. Happy witching hour to y'all. So I believe that this baby daddy, and see, I believe that some of them are agents, some of them are just ignorant. If they're an agent, they're going to have certain behaviors. If they're an agent, okay, there's going to be a few different, because these men can actually come into your family, curse the family, okay, and I think it's good for people to know what's happening spiritually. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to throw the man out and set him on fire and all that stuff. That's not, but if it's somebody that's trying to, the best that he can. But see, I have heard horror stories about some of y'all baby daddies. I'm talking about the ones that you're not with. If you're still with your baby daddy, then you can't really complain because you have control, okay? And you know what I'm saying? You got a certain level of control. But when you lose touch with them, that's when things can get very, very dangerous sometimes. And it's not that you necessarily have to watch them, but you just have to be careful. If you are noticing way too much struggle and blockages, and your car done broke down 3 times last week, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and the kids, the children, they seem to be kind of, having struggles. And it just, but there's certain things that you may feel is missing from your life. Okay. Like probably a stable relationship and a sustainable income. Okay. A good income for your children. And we all found out that college degrees didn't guarantee that. Okay. Because I went to college. Okay. I used to be a licensed realtor, and um, coincidentally, I'm not going to bring that up. Ooh, my stomach is going in knots, y'all. I ain't going to bring that up. But my baby daddy, who ended up being more so of a curse on my life, is terrible. And they normally like to take advantage of people that they feel, families that may not have like the high tech IQ. Okay, so we all know that it's affecting a lot of folks up in the ghetto. Okay, but the world is a ghetto. You can have a ghetto in a very expensive neighborhood. Bad stuff happens everywhere. So I don't believe in stigmatizing anything, because I think that's a huge problem with people. But if you have a decent family, right? Because I have a decent family. My grandmother was very successful. And people in my family have written books, and so the energy and the spirit is there. But what struggle are they really creating? Because I was doing some readings earlier, and this lady that I was talking to, she came to me. She said, "Listen, I feel like," she was watching one of my videos about the Babadook. And she said, "I feel that my ex is throwing magic at me. So he's doing something." And so I throw the cards, and I'll be damned. I see the Hierophant reversed, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, the Ten of Wands reversed, Five of Pentacles. I mean, he was just throwing everything at this woman. And she was struggling with 3 kids. And you know what Spirit told me? Spirit said, offer her your generational hex remover. you can actually utilize, because I'll remove that crap from y'all. I swear to God, it's y'all. I understand what y'all are going through because I have been there. And you know what? It took me years of struggle. Even after those years of struggle, hello, Nova America, even after those years of struggle, it seemed like he was still trying to make things difficult for me. And it's absolutely crazy. And it happens so much. Like it's literally like people used to get married 100 years ago. People used to get married and they had more stable families. And this is not the woman's fault. See, they said that, oh, well, because you wanted independence in certain circumstances, because women didn't want love to be black and white. That's what that was about. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that there's certain duties and responsibilities that you have, but I feel that that there could be a number of reasons why you wouldn't want to be with the father of your child. There could be a number of reasons, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, at the top of that list could be hexes. It could be some other heifer cursing your relationship. Okay, that's usually at the top of the list. But but I also believe that on some level, these particular partners, it was not meant for us to be with them forever. It just wasn't. And they just could not accept it, which is why a lot of them throw away the twin flame theory. This is something else that came into play with as far as that, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that fate or destiny thing. And I feel like this is causing a multitude of imbalances in this world. Number one, because maybe he was meant to just fall apart, but I think that it was meant for them to heal from that paradigm too, because they were used against us. So I feel like it was meant for them to heal from that as well and go and find the person that they were meant to be with. You see what I'm saying? But I think that they fight it so much that they end up throwing their lives away. 20 or 30 years of stalking somebody that has literally, moved away from you. There's a lot of you women that want to leave the country because you feel like if you put distance in between it, that will make things better. And actually, distance does, but spirit travels. It does. Spirit travels. It can travel, that's why I'm able to do work for people that are in other continents, that are in other countries. Okay. And so this is something that was meant to take a lot of your life force, to possibly sacrifice you, to sacrifice the children. They say that a lot of children of single mothers end up in jail, which is actually not the truth. It's mainly people that didn't have a family at all. But when you think about it, when you're in if you're in jail, you're a sacrifice. You are. Your energy is being sacrificed anyway. I'm not going to go into the technicalities of that because it's very, very deep, and I don't discuss that publicly. Okay, so that's kind of like it's like you can be driven, and I've spoken to a lot of women that have said that they have sensed that the father of their child was cursing the kids and sending bad energy to the kids, almost like a mass flowers in the attic. Only, it can be a woman too, but it can also be a male, but it's harder on women because men typically have, I don't want to say that men typically have power, but what I want to say is that men typically have more so of a social influence that they can affect you socially. And being affected socially was the worst thing ever. That was why they slandered us a lot. You know, like when I broke up with my ex, this was 20 years ago almost. He took to slandering me all over the place, you know, stalking, harassing me, calling up to my jobs. I mean, he was so angry and spiteful all the time. Like it was hell. It was hell. And it still is. And I'm still fighting with him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, you can remove that. You can remove those and make sure that you watch them. Don't forget about your baby daddy that you broke up with 17, 18 years ago. Don't forget about them. They can throw energy at you. And if you keep throwing your cards and you keep seeing the same thing over and over again, and spirit keeps telling you that because like it's crazy because I believe that these quote unquote baby daddies, I believe that a lot of them, if they're not lucky, they end up being possessed for life because it just makes no sense for them to purposely, and then even after the children leave the home, they will try to create difficulty for them even when they're out on their own, which is insane. It's just insane. And so it does kind of slide along that of that curse of patriarchy because you know patriarchy was very black and white, but of course you know we see spirit all the time. And so you know there's people that can sometimes be affected by good spirits and some people that can be affected by bad spirits sometimes. um and so I think that if you are anybody, woman or man, that has, you know, and you're a single parent. Now, I'm going to say this, I'm going to more than likely believe the custodial parent. It's just the way that I am. If it's a custodial parent, they're working, they're the one supporting this child. Somebody that hasn't worked and has not done anything to contribute, I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? So if you have custody of the children, no matter if you're male or female, um, and you're having all these difficulties, and they just kind of floating around, you know, just kind of, you know, with no plan in life, you know, just no plan in life at all. In fact, for some of them, that is their job. They get paid to be your baby daddy that curses you and your children. And as sad as it is, you know, I think that the certain personality type would have to be narcissistic. It would have to be somebody narcissistic. Because I was actually talking about this. I did a live a few days ago, and I was talking to y'all about how some narcissistic parents, they just don't care about their children. You know, when it comes to, you know, if they're a malignant narcissist too, they're disconnected. If you have a narc parent that's just disconnected, that person just, you know, and see, that's why they be having, you know, them people come in and remove the children from the home, because if you somebody that's messed up like that to the point where you can't even feed the children or care for the children, then that is a serious problem. But how do we know? Because it's all a damn curse. Your children are going to grow up feeling cursed. So I think that even when you're pregnant with that child, before you conceive the child, even if you notice certain things like that on a man, you can tell by the way he talks, you can tell by Like, for example, a man that's too in a hurry to get you pregnant. He just too in a hurry. Like he's, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like you met him last month and you already pregnant, which a lot of people did that. I got pregnant with my younger children in my 20s. And so when you're young, and that's why they, they like the younger ones because they're more than likely. So I'm a little, I think that I'm more attracted to a person that is, just knowing what I know, what's going on. I'm kind of more gearing towards people that are not trying to impregnate me right away, because you have to think about that. You have to think about that before you do that. And see, Spirit really wants a lot of you women, that a lot of couples that have been suffering from like long-term infertility and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, 60s that are going to be getting pregnant the next 10 years. And there's not going to be anything wrong with those children, because, because the current status quo is very different, but we can't have these baby daddies impregnating these young women and then creating that cycle all over again. And then these young women not knowing what to do. And see, that's how Spirit wants to look out for women. You don't want to just, if he got 6 baby mamas, that's a big sign. If he has 6 baby mamas, that's a big sign. I'm just saying, my ex had like he had like 6 kids or something. And so, yeah. And a lot of younger people don't know, and so he was 10 years older than me, but he's probably watching this, I'm not sure. Um, but I have to speak to you guys about this because I feel all of you. I feel a lot of women out there, and you are just feeling so trapped in a situation that you don't know what's going on. Okay. Because trust me, especially if he called himself being in love with you and you threw him out or something and he had to go because he was, they are not really supporting the children spiritually. In fact, they're wishing bad on the children. Okay. And see, a lot of them will act like they don't like witchcraft, but they always speak in curses out of their mouths all the time. Okay. That's the whole point, of men. They have a tendency to be able to speak curses on you. And, they will continuously speak curses into your life because they're either mad or angry. And I think it's important to remove those, because this is not about your parents. This is about you as a parent and your children and the father. And some of y'all have more than one baby father. And there's no judgment over here, because so do I. Okay, my grandmother did. My grandmother was a very, very highly respected, successful woman. Okay. My grandmother is looking down from heaven, wondering why all of these men are out here disrespecting women and mothers and being very nasty and spiteful and judgmental. Okay. So it's not just your baby daddy that's doing it. Some people in society have a very negative view of you. Okay. And so this is one of the reasons why, you'll see certain things happening, right, to yourself. And you have to pay attention to this, because this is coming through in spirit. I have been removing a generational hex from me and my children. Because think about it. It's not about necessarily your parents, but it's also about you as a parent, the father or fathers, and, you know, and the children or the child. And so it is important to reverse and remove that stuff because they are currently starting a hex. Um, Now, if you have a multi generational, you got to figure out what's going on if you notice certain things. Joanne says, I'm the custodial parent, left the abusive and narcissistic husband, tagging along my two boys. Yeah. Well, that, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Um, some of them never stop stalking you. Some of them never stop. Like, and they have attachments to them. Now, some of these attachments could be legal trouble, health problems, addictions, mental problems. Okay. A lot of, I don't even believe in ADHD. I believe in something else is caused that. But, typically just all of a sudden, if y'all noticed the past 50 or 60 years, all of a sudden, all of these children started having these ailments, autism, ADHD, ADD, you know what I'm saying? And so it's funny. And see, that plays the role of that medical witchcraft. And so, I cracked this code years ago, which is why I have gotten where I'm at. I have cracked this code years ago. And so it's time for us to advance even further. They are trying to keep you stuck because they hate you. They hate your children. They don't love the children. They don't. If they love the children, they would not be attacking them spiritually and in other ways. Okay. Now, and I've seen good fathers. I am not, I feel like my dad is a good father. Okay. Hey, Jen. Hey, Angel, Carlos. So, I'm going to start encouraging people to look into that too, because, especially when you are in that situation, it is so difficult, and if you don't pay attention to them, if you just ignore it, but you've got to look at certain signs. And then, especially if your baby daddy came from a family of witches and warlocks, okay? Typically people that practice witchcraft, they not out in the open like Yamila, okay? These people do stuff in secret. They do spells and rituals in secret. Okay, you see what I'm saying? See, if they were being honest about it, then we would know. But they're doing this stuff in secret. They've And so when you get to a point where you're trying to move forward and you notice, God dang, I keep having problems after problems in my relationships. I'm trying to move on. And it just seemed like, it's just all this negativity and then financial troubles and, and attacks and just, you know what I'm saying? So that is energy that could very well be coming from that baby daddy curse. I would say 95% of the time. 95% of the time. The baby daddy that's a deadbeat is the deadbeat father that it's like he's programmed to just be destructive. You know what I'm saying? And just to self-destruct or whatever, really, really bad. And you just trying to hold on. And you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. It's terrible. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Yeah, Joanne, I'm so sorry to hear that. You are more than welcome to contact me. You know what? There's a lot of people that are afraid to contact me sometimes because they feel as though they're going to be judged, or they feel as though it's going to be a situation that I can't handle. But honey, let me tell you something. You are preaching to the choir. I have been through just about some of everything. And I was heavily in bondage for the first 12 years of the children's lives, and then the bondage began to break, and they do demonically attack you. A lot of y'all will be sitting there, and some women that are not taught, or they just don't realize it, or you may sometimes go into that psychosis or that anger to where you're just like, oh, I hate all men and my baby daddy ain't nothing. But when you think about it, for you to even be speaking on that 10, 15, 20 years later, it could be because you got some kind of hex on you, and that's a generational hex on the family. And so that leads to talking negatively about him around the kids, which is not good. You should sit down and talk to them about some of the issues and explain it to them. But you shouldn't, on a regular basis, talk about a child's father like that. But see, that's a part of that programming as well. You should let them know, hey, we got some serious things to talk about. And I think that you should explain it to them. But um, your life can get better. I've done it. I've done it. I've had an ex baby daddy that stalked me at work, uh, stalked me at my house, just, oh my goodness gracious. And, it's because they don't have much to do. Like, they're usually unemployed, but the ones that are employed can be quite damaging. Okay. Now, some of them are very, very, very powerful magicians, believe it or not. They just don't use their power to take care of their children, but they can definitely use their power to try to destroy you. And you can tell. It'll show in your carpets, it'll show in your cars, it'll show in it'll just be everywhere. It'll just be all around, just this thick cloud of smoke. And as soon as you release that, you notice things get better. He physically abused me when I was pregnant. Oh man, he dragged me out of Florida by the air. Oh goodness gracious. Oh wow. Yeah, thank the goddess that your babies are good. Yeah. Wow. Well, I think that they mean to cause struggle, because I think that these are the children that are supposed to be the lost and the turned out and the orphans, and they're not supposed to be successful in life. They love their statistics. Oh, well, you children that come from a single parent home, well, you're in a broken home. Well, what's broken about my home? Just because I'm a single mom, there's nothing broken at all about that. Why do they even call it that? The stigmatization is obvious in our society, and you've got to be careful what words you use when you're talking about yourself or other people. So, you can have a healthy household, but and then here's another thing. They cause obstacles with you finding another partner. So, especially, oh my God, on YouTube, that's all they talk about. They still stuck on their baby mama because they the baby, or maybe it's something, whatever it is. They all got different issues, okay? But you see that a lot on here, and you be looking like, why do these people attack pregnant women? And it just it's a demonic. It's just I am in shock, in utter shock, and I know that that's why I get placed under attack a lot. Because I'm somebody that has broken the code on that. I broke the matrix on that. Okay, I did. And especially when you get yourself off of those government programs that they created for you so that they could for even further control and manipulate your situation. Okay. So that they could keep you within limits, within income limits, right? And they want to limit you. They do. And it makes no sense because the universe is very abundant. But, this is a paradigm that was created out of pure ignorance and mind enslavement. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm reading it. Yeah. So here's my whole thing about it. If it's been 18 years or 20 years or 30 years since you broke up with that person and they're still holding a torch for you, or you could have been a sacrifice for his family, you and the kids. That happens a lot. I hate to say that some of y'all, you know, had children and it was just like, God, you're programmed, good grief. And you had children with these people. And not only were they a sacrifice, but then the children became sacrifices by proxy. And I believe that magic and witchcraft can help you out a whole lot with that. Okay. I truly believe that. And then God, okay, God or goddess or whoever it is that you believe in or whatever you believe in. But I also think that sometimes just letting God take over because I don't know if he may not still be stalking you, but Joanne, there's a lot of women out there that are constantly getting hexed, cursed, negativity thrown at them. Um um Psychic attacks, okay? And it never stops. I wish I could just let God take over. Even though I did let God take over, but I'm saying for me, I have to do the spiritual work. Like I had to do ritual work to handle that situation. And I guess it would have to depend on your ancestors. See, I've got witchy ancestors, so it just really depends on how it's meant for you to handle that situation. But I'm curious, during that time, did you ever get any spiritual help? Did you ever um how have you been doing since that situation? Because and I'm thinking that maybe he's not doing anything to you currently, but I can tell you that I get phone calls. My phone rings off the hook with women calling me about their baby daddy, and they like, why? Yeah, I'm a healer too, absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah. And you know what? I know that that's what helped me. But I think that also another thing is that it depends on your family. It depends on how open they are about their intent. Okay. Okay, good, good. Well, that's good. That's good. See, I've noticed that lately that it's been a huge problem for women. They'll contact me and they'll go, "Oh my God, my baby daddy's stalking me. Oh my God, I can feel his energy around my children." You know, it literally just ornery, pissy spirits, and you like, what the hell? Oh my goodness! And and all the signs, and see, I will tell you that the number one sign is that the kids is messing up your house. Number one sign is when the kids are destroying your house, literally. That okay, if you can tell that they're putting that spirit in the kids. and that they're sending that energy, and then some of y'all have full awareness of there being witchcraft in their family. And so the generational hex removers reversals can absolutely help y'all with current gen hexes to remove that stuff from you and your children. Yeah, remove that stuff from yourself. Okay. You ain't, I mean, you can, wherever you gonna send it back to, it depends on what situation that you're dealing with, and see, it, so it's gonna be very different for different people. And I am going to put up some Patreon only readings for the individual signs. So make sure that y'all join my Patreon. I haven't put up content on that on there in a minute, but I will make sure that at the lowest tier, you guys will be able to look at those particular videos. And so I'll try to get those up. I'll try to get those up soon, because a lot of y'all will set an intent to do something, but they're steadily blocking you, steadily blocking you, steadily blocking you, blocking everything. Just, and you like, what in the hell? And sometimes if you don't see it, because they'll be hidden, a lot of times they'll be hiding. They're very covert. But they're definitely hidden in plain sight. You'll notice certain things. It depends on your situation. Angel Carlos says, how would you know if there is a way to know if you have that? Like I said, if you had issues with being stalked by your baby daddy, and if you feel like everything is just, good grief, it's like pulling teeth, and I think that personally, you know, there probably should be either some kind of altar set up in the home that can protect you from that person, maybe even with their picture on it, possibly, depending on who they are. Because some of y'all baby daddies is like the Antichrist, or either like like the devil, and some of them have very powerful spiritual gifts that don't have nothing to do with necessarily witchcraft. And then some of the baby daddies are drinking and they on heavy drugs and they doing stuff with, you never know what they can do if they are on a very, very harsh illicit drug like cocaine, or crack cocaine, dank sherm. You never know. Somebody get that zooted, you never know what they can do and what can come through them. And plus, if they real messed up on something like that, they're not going to be in the spirit to necessarily protect children, but some of them will. But you said, yeah, and if they are hidden, I'm a guy, but my dad messed with some stuff, and from time to stuff, and from time to now, I just feel like I've been under bad luck. Like everything seems to have extra obstacles. Yeah, I will tell you that what I can sense, yeah, I can sense, Angel Carlos, that there's definitely something generational coming from your dad, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, because okay, here's the thing about your parents, and even sometimes with the baby daddies, it depends on who they are. You don't want to necessarily harm them, but you just want to be responsible, now, unless they're, literally kicking in your door, okay, and trying to harm you physically. But spiritual stuff is just as bad. A lot of these men go to practitioners just as much as women do. They do. They do. They don't come to me. They don't. They know better. Don't come to me telling me to attack no woman with no kids, because I'm gonna curse you just for asking me, or my spirits will, just for asking me. Because I don't believe in doing that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, you supposed to love your seed no matter what. And I don't believe in judging how you feel about your children based upon how you feel about the parent. And that could be as a man or a woman. And that's exactly what they're doing. And they're doing it in droves. And women are suffering because of this, being made fun of, being attacked. Yeah, yeah. Well, Jen Goddess of Light. Jen Goddess of Light. If he's done all that, then wow, how is he even still walking around? That's crazy. Yeah, the stalking you at work is very, very popular. That's I remember years ago, I got off of work and I went and got my van, and this fool was sitting in the back of the car talking about bitch drive. Oh my God. I was like, what in the exact hell? And just has done despicable things, to me. So, and I know what you guys have been through, and I can tell you that I survived it, but we don't want to just survive. We want to grow, we want to flourish. We're tired of being attacked spiritually because and you're constantly having to sage your house, constantly having to sage and do all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be that difficult, but they do stuff. And a lot of times they're doing it not because they necessarily want to take away from you. Now, some of y'all do have the baby daddy paradigm where it's something sucking the energy dry from you and your children. Okay. And that can happen too. Okay. To where you being fed on like a battery. Okay. And but a lot of times some of them are just destructive. They just want to ruin everything for you. Just want to, oh, I can see that, you've got that nice thing right there. Let me smear something on it. They just want to smear you. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all something. And see, I'm a medium, so sometimes I can be placed under possession. Um, and that's something that mediums can't really help if you are actual medium. Are you a medium, Jen Goddess Alike? The mediums have to have constant support. Mediums have to have constant support, man, for real. But I can tell you that as far as like removing that stuff, man, I've been doing it for years. Don't let them fool you. I've been doing it for years. And spirit will always come and tell you at the exact moment that you're supposed to know something. So it's not a coincidence that I'm here at this time talking about this because, I'm right there with y'all. I'm right there with y'all. And of course, I don't discuss any of my business on YouTube. But of course, I've got my own situation, problems, and issues with my real life that I have to deal with, and spirit sometimes wants me to come on here and talk to y'all about that kind of stuff, because I think it's important. I don't think our ancestors liked it because when you go back 7 to 8 generations, those people were married. You know what I'm saying? And they were stable. And and okay, they're like, okay, well, that doesn't mean that this woman that is raising these children can't be stable either. Okay. That doesn't mean that she can't be stable and loved and have a happy life. Okay. And then also they can't they want to, mess with you and tell you what, and it's like, good Lord. Well, see, I'm a medium, so sometimes spirit is just spirit, man. But I feel very protected. Like it's a lot of things that I accomplished that I know for a fact, whether or not I was working professionally as a witch or if I were doing a quote unquote regular job. Okay. And if I were to do anything mainstream, it would probably just be massage therapy. I'm just keeping it real with you. I've only wanted to either be a witch or a massage therapist. I don't know why. It's weird. But you could actually be both though, So but I like to do witchcraft for the public. Um and but if I were doing anything else, I would definitely be successful at it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. And so you can overcome that stuff. And I've had my child almost killed because I got a real estate license. My child was almost murdered because I passed a real estate exam. It was crazy. But she's still here because God knew not to do that. Because I wouldn't be here. And that would have been very, very, very counterproductive. In fact, anything happening to any of my children or loved one of people that I love, that's why ain't nothing gonna ever happen to them, because it would be very, very counterproductive. Okay, it would be very counterproductive with what we trying to do here. And you know what? Even though they may laugh at us and they may make fun of us, you know what? We all have our dreams. You know what I'm saying? And you'll fulfill all your dreams, and you don't have to necessarily um have to feel as though, because that whole narcissism energy is, you make a mistake and you're just and it's like, nah. um because the father of my child was angry because I had passed my real estate exam. He was angry about that. And then 3 days later, my child was hit by a car and she survived. So I know how deep it goes. I know how deep the rabbit hole can go. And I know how to deal with them, just to let y'all know that too. I was going to put up a video. I think I'll put it up in a little bit. I was going to put up a video of some work that I was doing, but I got kind of busy trying to get the house clean. um, yeah, tell the truth, shame the devil. That's exactly what happened. And yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Okay. Hey, Ryan's daughter. Hey, I knew you was gonna show up in here. I knew my girl was gonna show up in here. Oh yeah, but you know what? Jen got us a light. I'm glad you brought that up, Jen. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, they have karma protection. So it's almost like you have to use witchcraft because they're definitely being protected from all that karma. And it's not necessarily that you have to attack them, but it's about removing it from you and your children. They can do whatever they want, and cutting those cords of attachment as well. So if you guys are having issues like that and you feel like your children are being attacked, I am the poster child of that. I know exactly what you're going through. Okay. And I know how to deal with them. You feel he's protected? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess at the very least, you don't have to necessarily attack them, but at least do the work to remove that from your family. But he definitely should be taking the the proper responsibility. He should be. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not about necessarily them suffering. It's about you and your family gaining momentum and being able to have all of the things that they lacked to provide to you. So that's what it's about. Okay. Because a lot of times if you put bad energy to them, it can sometimes immediately sometimes affect your children, depending on what's going on. Okay. So it's a really, really very, very tender topic of discussion that I'm talking about. It's definitely very important, but I wanted to get the word out there about this because I hear about this all the time. It's what everybody's talking about. It's what everybody's talking about. We as practitioners have to know we're not at war with each other, but oh yeah, practitioners definitely shouldn't be at war with each other. Absolutely. Absolutely. But what I'll tell you is that just saying, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that because things shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, come on now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's very touchy. That was the word that I was trying to think of. Yeah. Well, how old is your baby, Jen Goddess of Light? How old is your baby? Because I can tell you that if he's violent, I don't think you said that he was violent, but sometimes they will carry that violence to children too. Okay. And it just depends. So and it's hard. It's hard. And trust me, the ones that have the financial issues, the ones that they can be just as bad. This has nothing to do with economics, nothing to do with how much money a man makes. This could be a very rich man or this could be a very poor man. Okay, all in between. If he is an agent for the baby daddy paradigm, then he can go under any category. Okay. Well, Jen Goddess of Light, let me just tell you something. It's some women, they don't even want to co-parent. Some of these men are so disgusting. They don't even want to co-parent because their energy is too toxic. So if he is a person that you want to continue to co-parent with, then absolutely do it. I think that you should possibly do some cleansing, possibly, or some healing and do some peace between the two of you. That way you two can co-parent. But some of these people are not fit to co-parent or to be a parent to nobody. Okay, especially the ones that are doing the parental isolation, alienation, and stuff like that. Now, I'm let me take that back. Okay, if a man is showing dangerous behavior, okay, around your baby. You've got a newborn baby and he hopping and skipping around and that's obvious, okay? Okay, yeah. So just all mental and spiritual. Okay. Well, see, what comes along with sometimes that spiritual would be the physical. So, there's a lot of women that struggle through physical violence, and the man still is just he ain't changing. He ain't changing for the better. He ain't getting no better. In fact, he getting worse. Oh, okay. So you don't have any kind of shared like custody plan or anything. Yeah, I that's deep right there. And Jen, you can contact me at any time when you need me because I can definitely feel what y'all going through, especially around Christmas. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. My Lord. Yes. A lot of y'all was mad, and then some of y'all were happy. If a man is being supportive of you and he's not trying to create a bunch of freaking obstacles for you, then, you know, however he contributes. But if this silly fool is doing stuff to create homelessness in your life, I mean, come on now. You know, it just, you can't do that. You can't do that. Okay. And just difficulty. You know, now if you still love your baby daddy, you can remove it from him if that's what you want to do. If you still want to be with him, you can always just depends on the situation. You know, I have never, ever, ever in my life spoke with a single mother that didn't have a good goddamn reason to be. She always had a good reason, okay? And whether or not she was acting silly, she may have a generational hex on her, and maybe she is young and silly, and maybe she don't know no better. But that don't mean that a man is supposed to make it worse on her. That's not what that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. So some of them will just try to make it worse on you. And I remember years and years of it. Just, oh my God, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I don't even like to think about it because it's such a distant memory. You know, it's very far in the past, but you know, some of them, like I said, they'll continue to stalk you and harass you, but sometimes for the rest of your life, if you don't do something about it, sometimes for the rest of your life, if you don't do something about it, and they constantly trying to put that ignorance in your children so that your children can feel like a burden. Okay. So there's a specific ritual that I do, okay, because you have to remove that burden from around your children because they're putting the burden. They want it to be hard because they wanted you to either take them back, you know, or something like that. And so they put something on, uh, you know, just so that things would be harder. Uh, and so, you know, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm down in the kitchen. I'm giving you some ice cream and some coffee. I know that sounds weird together, but hey, I need to take out this. I almost forgot to take out this hamburger meat, y'all. Make me some burgers tomorrow night and some fries. Yeah, so I'm always here. Don't ever give up. You know, some of y'all want to sell lingerie. Some of y'all want to set up a nail salon or a hair salon or something, you know. When my grandmother retired from the post office, she started her own business. And she was a huge inspiration for me, seeing her start her own business. My grandmother, she had a green thumb. So she could grow anybody's hair. Like she was really good at that. And my grandmother was a very powerful healer. She was an Aquarius though, and she had some wild spiritual gifts. My grandmother couldn't even really handle all the gifts that she had. So we all got them from her. But you know, see, Orion's daughter. I know that's right. Put them in a jar. I know that's right. Yeah, I'm telling you. Or like I said, you could set up an altar as well with, you know, something on it. Um, and that'll help you too. You know, some of y'all, some of y'all really do just need to to cleanse and clear yourself right now, it really depends on what he's doing exactly at that moment, because situations can always change. You know, like, you never know, because I know that I felt at peace for quite some time. And then when I was pregnant with my son Jacob, I felt really, really peaceful and just so happy. And then all of a sudden, you know, there came the negativity from my ex. And so it was really bad. I don't talk about it much, you know, because it's my personal business. With But it sucks because, you know, they just don't seem to have any parental instincts, which is so bizarre. Okay, it's very bizarre. Oh Lord, he done went into contempt of court. Oh goodness. Good, good, Jen. You know, that's another thing that some of them will do. They'll try to hold you in bondage so you can't find nobody else. And, you know, a lot of them are doing that. A lot of them are doing that. I can tell you that much. Hence the steady stream of videos about single mothers. And you know, I have high hopes and very high expectations of, you know, any mother that leaves a dangerous situation, or somebody that is just, you know, you know, because I can tell y'all that it's bad. It's bad. I've seen it. I have seen it so many times. And it ain't the kids' fault. It ain't their fault. They didn't do nothing. They didn't ask to be, well, maybe they did ask to be born. I just, you know, but technically you made them, you created them, so it's kind of good for you to figure out what you gonna do. You got to go through the all the channels. And so, you know, especially when you may have a 16-year-old child or like a 17-year-old son, and you know his father has a problem with being in and out of jail, and you notice that your son starts doing that, or you know, starts hanging out with the wrong crowd. You know, I feel that if even if you tried witchcraft and you couldn't stop it, which I don't believe that. I believe wow, really, Jen, that's crazy. But I believe that you can, because you know, ever since I've started to work on that, which was in 2015, my life has just gotten consistently better. I even look different. I look a lot different than what I looked like. I was looking at some of my old videos, and like some of them I look pretty good, but like I think it was like I was like, oh my God, was I going through something? Boy, I just look like that. And it can be really, really stressful. Wow. Jen, you're gonna have to do something about him. He's getting out of hand. He's out of hand. I have a ongoing jar on sperm donor folks. They keep reporting the sickness. Miss Ford, Orion's daughter, you funny. Well, you know what? If they don't ever use their strength to do good, they use their strength to go against you. So I feel you on that, Orion's daughter. I feel you on that. I still think that, like, whatever karma you want to let the universe give that to them, and to do whatever. But I think that you should definitely focus on the children and focus on yourself and focus on, what struggles are you having? What is that person doing? They mainly want to affect us at work because I know you guys have folks stalking you at your job. Uh, you know, and it's a trip. So I'm always here to help you guys and to make sure that you reach that level of success that you want to reach, because it's unfair. And then they'll go around and they'll say that you're a horrible mother because you couldn't do this or couldn't do that. And it wasn't that you couldn't, it's just that, good Lord, all the negative energy that they're sending you all the time. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a hell of a thing you going through. That's a hell of a thing you going through, sis. Mm-mm-mm. And then Orion's daughter, you were so funny. You were so funny. Yeah, I know that when my babies were babies, I noticed that you don't, it's kind of, it's like like, this is definitely the age of Aquarius, because I know that 18 years ago, I couldn't see none of this. I could not see none of it. I had, but it wasn't until I tried to step outside of that box, you know, um, that it was a problem. And so you guys definitely, I mean, live it up, get your I know that they got a lot of different loans and grants out there these days, especially because of this COVID thing, for you guys to start businesses and stuff. And you guys should really, really lift yourselves up, especially if you're feeling depressed, angry, or sad, you know. So that's what I'm here to do, is to uplift people. And I feel that how is that, this is my whole thing about it. How is attacking the mother of your children going to affect your children? They don't care. They don't care about that. They don't think about that because they're so blinded by hatred or ignorance or whatever it is, whatever their plight is, or whatever reason why they felt that, they didn't want to give you permission to exist and flourish in this life, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can get through it, I promise you, and make sure that y'all get in that inbox circle, because it's going to be, the ritual starts on Monday. Well, we already started. But you know what? Orion's daughter, quit being bad. You being bad, girl. Orion's daughter being bad in the chat. Make sure that you look to your children. Look to your children, man. When you see any kind of signs of issues on them, you ain't, just do the spiritual work. It'll make things easier. You know what I'm saying? No, you're good. You're good. But no, seriously, I want y'all to focus on your family itself, and then, some of y'all have husbands outside of that, depending on who they were, but there could still be struggle there too, you know. So make sure y'all pay attention to that, especially if you are, just having any kind of difficulties. Yeah, just look to your children. If your children are having any kind of challenges, if you're having any kind of challenges, you know, you got to look at all your enemies, because many of you guys are dealing with several different situations at once. And some of y'all got to light up 7 7-day candles, like 7 of them, 7 7-day candles. Okay, that would be y'all next order from the botanical. You get you 7 candles. Okay. So y'all can definitely contact me. This spiritual work that we do is just it's so powerful. You know what I'm saying? And you you guys deserve to have peace and love in your life and happiness. You do. You deserve that. And we all want our children to do well in life. We all want our children to do well in life. So, and some of these men are creating so much struggle that it's slowing the kids down. And they like, well, why can't you do this? So why can't you do that? It's like, oh, really? Because I saw them curses that you sent at me. Yeah, I saw what you did last summer. I know what you did last summer. Okay, seriously. I'm always here to help y'all because I know how it feels, man. Yeah. Yes, get you 7 7-day candles. Do a 7 candle ritual on that. I got it. I'll have it available up on the website, but it depends on what the situation is. But it technically it's considered a generational hex. That's where the hex starts. When he says, "Oh, oh, I'm not going to take care of those children." You're not? Well, they're yours. I'm a little confused. And so, that's probably when you want to go into action, right then and there, while the kids are still real, real young. You'd be surprised. They'll probably have less colic, okay? Less sicknesses. Now this stuff that I'm talking about is is very, very secretive and is kept on the low. But what is in the dark is always supposed to come to light. Okay. So, that's why they call me the light bearer. And because I seen it all. It's like when I when I open up and right there, somebody trying to mess with my throat. Hold on. Somebody trying to mess with my throat chakra. That's awfully strange how as soon as I started talking about this, all of a sudden my throat acted weird. Now what the heck? Mm-mm-mm. Hold on, let me throw the cards real quick. Spirit, who messing with my throat? Who is that messing with my throat chakra? Oh God. Oh Lord. Oh God. All right. Lordy, Lord, Lord. All right, where's my knife at? Hold on a second, y'all. Oh, that's the one I gotta get from over here. Y'all give me a second because I'm gonna finish this out. Now, if you guys want to reach me because um many of you guys are going through a lot to where you feel like you're not growing and you feel like it just seems like something just keeps interrupting your flow, you guys can look to the links or in the video description box. Hold on a second. Hold on, y'all. Thank you, Goddess. All right. Sorry, y'all. I had to do some work with my Tommy real quick. All right, y'all. So I wanted to come and just run that by y'all, and do I believe that it's an actual conspiracy? Hell yeah, because they're way too comfortable and confident in what they're doing. I mean, they ain't even got no shame. And they say that we should be shamed for something. Shame, shame, shame. And it's like, nothing is more shameful than purposely attacking and harming your own children. Okay. Orion's daughter or either Jen, Goddess of Light, please go ahead and block that person. The Prince of Darkness. Thank you. Y'all can go ahead and get rid of that person. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I don't know what premarital sex is. We don't use those terms over here. We're pagans over here, okay? The premarital sex word comes from the Bible, okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get rid of the Prince of Darkness, okay? Thank you. Just block him. Just block him. He's here to cause problems. Just block him all together. Here, I'll block him. There we go. Because it wasn't popping up on my StreamYard. Yeah. Yeah. They and Orion's daughter, we know the stigmatizations that they create around children that were born out of wedlock. Okay. We know the stigmatas that they put on us and our children, and we're sick of it. So we're not now. Throw the whole thing away, throw it all away, and let's start from scratch. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Okay. Because what they do is they will read the words of the Bible, they will listen to other things, and then they will act accordingly. So they're not acting out of any kind of human nature. Okay. Yeah, that was really weird. Yeah, exactly. So I will see you guys later. I wasn't planning on staying here that long because I'm about to settle down for the evening. Um and then I've also got some meditation to do for the circle as well. If you guys want to reach me for spiritual work for removing these blockages and hexes that have probably been put on your children, hexes that have been put on you, blockages, bindings. My link to my Etsy shop is below. And I do also accept Zelle. So you guys can contact me. You can text or call 770-686-7461. Um, and I will let you guys know how you can get a consultation. Okay. All right, guys, I will see y'all later. Peace and love. And thank you for coming, Orion's daughter. This has been fun because I know that this is a subject you've been talking about a lot on here. So Spirit must have had me come on here for y'all too tonight. Yeah, it's a construct. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Orion's daughter. Thank you. Thank you. Very powerful words. Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's always good to know that a woman that's been through it has your back. Okay. It's always good to know because, we're not patriarchal women over here. Because patriarchy, there's no fairness or balance with that. So, yeah. Yep. You just missed it, Heather Walker. You can go and watch the playback. All right, y'all. I will see y'all later. Have a wonderful evening. Hug your babies for me. Peace and love to y'all. Blessings to everybody. If nobody told you they love you today, High Priestess Jamila loves y'all, and I will see y'all later, okay? All right. Bless up, y'all. Bless, bless.